Hey team, so I wanted to just take a minute to create a video to talk about really how to get started. So a lot of times we have these big lofty goals like, yeah, I would absolutely love to be a husband that's, filled with faith, family, fitness, finance, and fraternity. But I mean, that all sounds pretty lofty. I'm just not there right now, and I don't know where to start. So I just kind of wanted to talk about a couple things that I do in each of those categories. And if it's helpful for you, then awesome. And yeah, so let's get started. So the first one that I wanted to talk about is faith. So I talked about faith being something that you can't just do on Sundays. You've got to do it on a daily basis, and you've got to include it into your daily routines. And so there's three big things that I think are super important that have been really fruitful for me. And I'll tell you what I do and then how I incorporate it into my daily routine. So the first one is personal prayer. I think it's important that you pray by yourself on a daily basis. There's stuff you've got going on. You want to have a personal relationship with Christ. And so personal prayer. What I do is when I get in the car to go to work, right when I start the car, I immediately start my prayer. It's the first thing I do when I hop in the car, when I pull out of the driveway. It is just ingrained in my routine that's what I do. When I start the car, I also start praying. And that's in my morning routine as I go to work. The next thing that I think is super important is prayer with family. So some of it is with your kids. I think it's great for you to be able to pray with your kids and give them that example. And the other is with your spouse. And so what I do with my kids, we have it built into our put down routine. And so after we brush our teeth and we read a book, we all pray together as a family. I think it's a really great way for you to be an example for your kids and also like show them how to pray. And that's something that's built into our routine. And then for me and my wife, we pray each night before we go to sleep. So we're actually laying in bed after we've kind of debriefed the day and talked about what's going on. That's our time for prayer. We know that we do that at that point, and it's just built into our routine before we go to sleep. The next thing that I think is super important is reading the Bible. I'm not going to say who said it because I'm going to misquote it, but ignorance of the Bible is ignorance of Christ. If you want to get to know God better, he gave you a pretty good book to learn about him. And so it's important that you read it every single day to learn more about him and grow in your relationship with him. And so something that I do have a Bible on my nightstand. That's where I keep it. And I wear glasses. And that is where I keep my glasses. So when I go to bed, I'll rest my glasses on top of that Bible. And I'll notice that if I put the glasses on the Bible and I haven't read it yet, that means I need to pick it up and read it. And so I also have been in a pretty good routine of reading the Bible at night with my spouse. And so when I take off my glasses, we'll read the Bible then, and then we'll head to bed. So anyway, those are three things: personal prayer, family prayer, and then reading the Bible. And what I do on a daily routine, and hopefully it's as fruitful for you as it is for me. And yeah, let's get it together.